How are we doing, guys? ALTV, and it's another episode of Transfer Tuesdays. I'm doing it again this week. I apologise for that. It's main man Conor isn't available for this week, and neither is Joe. So I'm going to cover Transfer Tuesdays this week. Once again, I'm not 100% sure on the sound quality. Any problems with the sound quality, please let me know in the comments down below. And once again, it's going to be the same kind of format as usual. I'm just going to go through the topic of the week, and then obviously going to read your comments as well. I've got my computer here just to the left of me, so let us know what you're thinking as well, and we'll make sure we go along as well. So let's go on with it. Dan James. Now, I mean, it was something I covered last week about Dan James. He's clearly a very, very talented footballer, especially for his age. We're looking at a superb footballer here potentially, but it's an interesting one really. It looks like it's come to a bit of a standstill. It looks like we're only willing to offer about 3 million. Swansea want 5 million. I mean, Swansea, to be fair, for the talent he is, the way he's been playing this season, the position Swansea are in, I think they are probably entitled to want that little bit extra, from ourselves. If you look at it really, 5 million compared to what some of the other players go for isn't really that much. But is he the right type of player for us? Is he really what's going to take us to that next level? For me, I think it's a mighty risk. I can see what the plan is there, with Dan James. But I think, for me, it's looking less and less likely. I think compared to what it was last week, compared to what the rumour was on Friday, I think it's looking less and less likely to happen. But I can see what the plan is. It looks like we're going for that Sterling sort of Sane effect at City, pace out wide, because if you really think about it, we're not set up at all from the start of the season, from any stage of the season. We haven't set up like a Marcelo Bielsa team. Traditional Marcelo Bielsa team has two pacey wide men, one on that right hand side on his right foot, hugging the touchline, the other on the left hand side on his left foot, hugging the touchline and keeping the width. And I think that's something, especially the last couple of weeks with Jack Clarke coming in, we have gone against a little bit. Jack Clarke's been on the left, Jack Clarke's been on the right. We've changed things up a little bit. Maybe we've not, other than Jack Clarke, we haven't really had that pace out wide. So, it's interesting how from the start of the season, we haven't really ever set up as a Bielsa team. But I think Dan James is probably a Bielsa player. I'll say that. And I think in time, Clarke and James out wide would be very, very exciting. But for me, right now, I don't think it's the right type of signing for us. I think it's what we need out wide is someone who's just a guaranteed goal source or a source of creativity. As good as Jack Clarke has been, he's still not a guaranteed source of goals. I think it's harsh to rely too much on Jack Clarke, to be our main creative link. At the end of the day, Jack Clarke's an 18-year-old playing his first couple of games for Leeds United. You can't expect absolutely everything from him. And to an extent, maybe Dan James would lighten the load on someone like a Jack Clarke and that lot. But for me, I think it might hinder Jack Clarke more than anything, because at the end of the day, competition means less game time. Quite simply, at the position we are in at the minute. I know maybe Dan James plays on a slightly different side to Jack Clarke, but Jack Clarke can play on that left occasionally. So for me, I think it could be a hindrance on Jack Clarke. That's my one thing that puts me off a little bit. The other thing is, Dan James, he's not exactly a regular at Swansea. I'm not saying he's not played well at Swansea. He came on against Sheffield United on Saturday and changed the game. He won the game 1-0, and he was man of the match according to most papers. And from what I saw as well, obviously it's just highlights. He seems to be causing a lot of problems on that left-hand side. He's sort of to get that Swansea team, creating more chances and that lot, and taking that Swansea team up the pitch. And it was an impressive performance, but is that exactly what we need right now? I think it's one of those signs where I look more at in the summer as being more appropriate. I think what we're trying to do, this season, it's promotion. At the end of the day, we are in a great position at the minute. Maybe at first, I don't think anyone really expects us to be where we are. I don't think if in all honesty, I don't think Marcelo Bielsa would have expected us to be as high up as we are now. And the ambition has to be promotion at the end of the day. And for me, you look at Dan James, I feel it's similar to an extent to an Alfonso Pedraza signing. I mean, Alfonso Pedraza, when we signed him, I thought, this lad's a talent. Very similar to Dan James. I felt that the talent was there, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's clear for everyone to see. I'm just going to check my battery actually. 1 second. I'm just going to check my phone is actually on charge here. 1 second. 1 second. Apologies for that. So I just thought I'd check so I didn't cut out halfway through the stream. We're all good on that. But yeah, you look at Alphonso Pedraza, since he left Leeds, has done unbelievably well. You look, he's been linked with Barcelona, Real Madrid, and maybe it might look a bit irrelevant while I'm talking about this. Have you still got a cough? I've just seen that cough of Henry LUFC. Touch wood, no, I've not. I've managed to finally shift it, but we'll wait and see. I can't make any promises on that. Having he stopped smoking now, well, you know, hopefully. I'm not going to cough in this, but I can't promise anything. I didn't think I was going to last week. Yeah, right. So look, Alphonso Pedraza, you know, that's one thing I look at this. You know, he was clearly not quite ready. You know, we signed him in January. He wasn't really ready. You know, I think when you sign a young player, especially someone like Dan James or Pedraza, they're still learning the position, still to an extent learning the best position. You know, still got that inconsistency to the game. And to be honest, when you go into someone like Swansea are mid-table at the minute. You know, I'm not having to go at Swansea. You know, over the last couple of years, they've been far better than us. But this season, purely, they've not been so good, Swansea. You know, they've been mid-table. And when you make a mistake for Swansea, it's one of them. They're mid-table. It's not going to cost them that much. It's not going to be looked on that much. It's not going to be magnified that much. But for Leeds United, if you don't play well at this stage of the season, the pressure's on. I mean, the pressure really is on. And I think, to an extent, the style of football is totally different as well from Swansea to Leeds. You know, at Swansea, he's a big creative link of that team. At Leeds, I think he'd be more of a secondary link. You know, look at Hernandez, you look at Jack Clark, you look at even Alioski to an extent, you look at Barry Douglas, you know, look at all the other creative options. Maybe Dan James will maybe find it more difficult to shine in a Leeds team to an extent. I think it just, for me, I've got nothing against the signing. I just think the timing of it would be better for the summer. You know, I think it would be better in the summer when we can give Dan James 6 weeks to get used to the style of football, get his fitness right, learn the Bielsa way, and learn his best position. This is his best position on the left-hand side. At the end of the day, Dan James has played less than 20 games of professional football. You cannot say with any certainty that his best position is on that left-hand side. So for me, it's a risky one. You know, I don't want us to be taking risks at this stage of the season. It's something we've done a lot in the past. But for me, it's not something I'd be for right now. You know, I'm not saying it'd be a terrible signing, it'd be an exciting signing, but would it happen right now? You know, obviously, you know, look, you know, a lot of people have said if Bielsa wants it, fair enough, and that is fair enough. You know, I can see 100% why Bielsa wants to sign. He wants players that suit his system. Because at the minute, 4-1-4-1 has never really been part of a Bielsa philosophy. You know, we've had Pablo Hernandez on the right, Alioski on the left. We've not really had that pace out wide. You know, I'm not saying we've got that creativity out wide. We've not had that ferocious pace which Bielsa wants his teams to play with. So, you know, and look, I know in Bielsa we trust. I 100% back Bielsa. And look, if we sign Dan James, he's going to get my 100% backing. I'm just giving my personal opinion on it. You know, it's not something I look at right now. You know, I think if we did sign Dan James, he'd be a good player for us. But would he be good for us right now? Would he get us promoted? That's the key question I'm asking. You know, would it hinder Jack Clark's development? You know, who's to say Dan James is better than Jack Clark? That's another point at time. But you know, back to signing. You know, I'm just giving my personal opinion on it, but I'm going to go through a couple of comments. So, let's go to the start. So, let's have a look here. LUFC 03, slightly off topic. Do you think Klich needs longer rest? Now, I've seen a lot of comments about this, about Mateusz Klich. For me, I think it's been exaggerated a little bit. You know, Mateusz Klich's supposed massive drop in form. You know, I don't think there's been a massive drop in form. You know, I just think... you know, I think with the amount of goals he got at the start of the season, you know, the amount of creativity he offered and that lot, I think maybe because there's been a slight reduction in that sort of element of his game, it's been highlighted a lot. But for me, I still think he's playing well. I think obviously Stoke wasn't so good at all, possibly one of his poorest games in a Leeds shirt, but yeah, I just don't think he's been that poor. You know, I don't think it's fair to rely on Mateusz Klich for goals. You know, to say Mateusz Klich has to score goals. He's playing in a deep position, you know, compared to the rest of sort of our creative players. He's playing in that deeper position where he's more of a creator for me than a goal scorer. I think it's probably more of a fluke. Not a fluke. Fluke is wrong. Fluke's the wrong word to use. A freak sort of like anomaly that he scored so many goals at the start of the season. You know, he's hitting the ball unbelievably well and he's getting so many goals. You know, he's never really had that massive goal scoring past. I think it's a bit. I know that as a song goes 20 yards or 30 yards, Klich's or something goals, etc., etc., etc. But I don't think that's the main elements of Mateusz Klich's game. I wouldn't say that. I'd say his best part of his game is one-touch passing, the way he controls the midfield. I don't think it's fair to an extent to say that he has to score 15 goals for us this season, etc., etc. It's one of those things. Maybe he does need a rest. I don't know. He probably is going to get a rest. Who knows? But because I think it's clear to everyone that Bielsa is a massive fan of Adam Forshaw. I'm not saying he's wrong to be a fan of Adam Forshaw. I'm a fan of Adam Forshaw. And then obviously you've got Callum Phillips coming back in. There is a possibility that Mateusz Klich might get dropped out of the team for a rest. Who knows? But I wouldn't say just yet that I'd rest Mateusz Klich. He had that rest against QPR. I'd still back him to get back onto top form. Dean Knox on the Dan James opinion. Given Bielsa's rough last few weeks, we should give Bielsa exactly what he wants. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. But it's just my opinion at the end of the day, guys. I don't quite agree with the signing. I know you look at maybe the January situation when we gave Monk what he wanted in the Alfonso Pedraza signing. Alfonso Pedraza was clearly a very, very talented player. And if he signed in that summer rather than the winter to get a little bit more used to the style of football, get a couple more games under his belt, get a little bit more used to his, what his best position is, etc., etc., etc. More experience, all the sort of superlatives like that. I think he would have been a good player for us. I think timing of signings is a big, big thing. I think that's a big thing as well. So let's have a look. Comments. I will just point out as well, Sean Cuthbertson, I was not comparing Monk to Bielsa, I was just comparing sort of the situation in that, it's what we kind of need at the minute. For me, is a bit more experience on that out wide. I do think pace is an important thing as well, but I think what's got us to the top of the table is more that productivity, in the creative positions and that, like Mateusz Klich, Pablo Hernandez, etc., etc. There is absolutely no comparison there from Monk to Bielsa. I probably worded that wrongly. The more of the comparison was Pedraza to James for me. A lot of comments saying that they'd be gutted, Swansea fans, if they lost Dan James, and that's fair enough as well. I think, I'm not for 1 minute denying that Dan James is not a superb footballer or is not a massive talent. I just think the timing would be better in the summer. That's all my point is on that as well. I think Conor's touched on the same kind of thing as well. Lee Cox, another centre half in the 10, I'd be happy with, but it won't happen. I mean, I wouldn't totally rule that out. I think something that I think something that's clear is that Berardi obviously came off injured last night. Is that possibly going to force us into getting another centre back? I think so, possibly. I do think there's a possibility. I'm not saying we're going to get a top quality centre half, but I think it is a possibility, definitely. I think in number 10 is something they have mentioned a lot specifically. Obviously with Samuel Saiz leaving the club, Izzy Brown not being fully fit, our only real option in that number 10 role is Pablo Hernandez. So maybe that is going to be something we look at as well. That'd be an interesting one too. Let's have a look at all the comments. Barkers, where's the Grander cap? Now, look, I had a lot of stick for that sort of that fashion accessory after the Stoke game. It was absolutely freezing. Very rarely wear hats. I wore a hat that day. I came back from the game and I thought, I'm just going to keep it on for the review of Stoke. I just kept it on. That was the decision on that. Demar Facey, anyone know how Caleb Ekuban is doing? Now, from what I've heard, Caleb Ekuban is doing very, very well. I think it's something along the lines of his goals a game. I think he's getting a goal every 100 minutes in Turkey at the minute, and I think he's performing really well. I've watched a little bits of him, mainly on highlights on YouTube and that, so I can't go massively into detail on it, but he seems to be doing well. For me, Caleb Ekuban was a player who got a lot of undeserved stick, I felt, last season. I think maybe he wasn't. Look, he missed a lot of chances. His goal scoring wasn't there. I think he scored 1 goal in the league all season. That's clearly not good enough. But I thought the hold-up play was good. I had no problem with his hold-up play. I thought that was a strong part of his game. He was really strong, and I felt he is quite a good, from that point of view, that element of his game was good. But that'll be an interesting one. For maybe in the summer. I don't think it's something we're going to look at in January. I think we're going to give him that full season there, see how he does, and maybe that's something we might look at in the summer. But I don't think that he would make a massive difference now. To be honest, I think Roofe, Roberts, Bamford when he's back fit are probably better options at the moment. But maybe as a fourth choice option, I don't know. But I'd imagine Bielsa is having a strong look at Caleb Ekuban. Let's have a look at the comments. Someone on Apple Helm, let's just jump to the bottom. Sorry about this. I did see one of Apple Helm, and I really liked that one. Okay, Henry LUFC. Apple Helm got a golden assist last night. He should start as centre back on Saturday. KP at CDM and Forshaw at CM. Centre mid. Klich on the bench. Needs another rest. Now for me, Apple Helm has to start on. I've just seen Wild Barkers think Oscar needs some glasses. I put the computer too far away, like an absolute idiot. I'm just going to move that forward a little bit. Right, there we go, that's better. But yeah, Appelhelm has to start centre back for me against Rotherham. Height on set pieces. We're losing Pontus Jansson. That's a massive blow. And I think we need him there. I think we need that height on set pieces. I think for me, KP has to go back into the CDM role. I've had no real problem with Adam Forshaw, but I don't think that's his best position. We're costing ourselves too many goals, with Adam Forshaw there. It's not criticism necessarily on Adam Forshaw himself, but I don't think he has that defensive ability as much as a Calvin Phillips. And in terms of, I'd like Forshaw in that centre mid role. I think that Forshaw is better higher up the pitch, even though maybe he's not the most creative player in this team. I think he's really good at this short range passing, keeping on the ball, and I think that's crucial higher up the pitch. I think what we did a lot of against Stoke was we lost that ball high up the pitch. In the final third, we kept losing the ball. We need someone like Adam Forshaw just to keep that ball high up the pitch and give it to maybe the more creative players. And I think that's good. That's what Adam Forshaw's good at. And alongside Matej's Klich, I think that could really work. That's my personal opinion. Kiko Garcia has been mentioned as well in the comments. Will he start? For me, Kiko Garcia has to start as well. I don't think Bailey Peacock Farrell did anything wrong against Stoke. In fact, he made some good saves against Stoke and he looked pretty solid. But for me, Kiko Garcia has to go in as soon as possible. Kiko Garcia is, at the end of the day, he's a top player. That's a better camera angle. I don't know why I went with the first camera angle. That looks a bit. Let's just let that down a little bit more. There we go. That's a bit of a better camera angle. So for me, Kiko Garcia has to go in as well. But I would definitely not bench Matej's Klich. That's my personal opinion. Sean Cuthbertson, Bielsa is amazing, maybe a backup or for cover. Now I feel a bit guilty now because I don't know if you guys think I'm comparing Monk and Bielsa. There's absolutely no comparison there. Monk is a plan A manager and a plan A manager only. Bielsa is a pure football philosopher. There's absolutely no comparison there at all. That wasn't my comparison. I'm going to keep saying that because I really don't want anyone to think that is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think maybe Dan James as cover, as backup. I don't think Dan James will be coming in as a starter. I don't think that's the case at all. But yeah, it'd be an interesting one. It's one of those. I think I've said what I need to say on that. That's just my personal opinion. If Dan James comes in, I will be excited. But is he exactly what we need at the minute? Okay, any other comments at the minute? Damar Facey, Brown will be on the bench on Saturday. I certainly hope so. I really do hope so. If we do need that other, more creative option in the team, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, we do need that. But hopefully, I can't really comment on that because I'm not sure I've heard much about that. Another interesting one as well. Far from Fangio, Aylan needs replacing, controversial. Now I've seen a lot of people say that. I've seen a lot of people say Aylan needs replacing in this team. And we look at Jamie Shackleton as an option. I think purely if you go off form, between Jamie Shackleton, Luke Ayling, you go Jamie Shackleton any day of the week. In terms of form this season, you go Jamie Shackleton. But for me, I'd still keep Luke Ayling in. I'd give him a couple more chances. I still think Luke Ayling has that little bit of game intelligence. I'd still keep him in the team. And as Barker says there, Ayling is a leader. We still need that leadership in the team. We're losing Pontus on Saturday. I think we're looking at a very young back four if you have Jamie Shackleton and Apo Halman there, plus potentially Alioski playing slightly out of position as well. It's a very young back four with Kiko Garcia with Bailey Peacock-Farrell in goal as well. That's a very, very, very young back five, and for me that's a worry in terms of experience. I think maybe we do need more experience than that. Keep the comments coming in, guys, as well. So, okay, that's going to bring me on to the next bit of this anyway. We have look like signing an under-19 and a player for the under-19s, Mateusz Bogus. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. Mateusz Bogus, Polish footballer who is 17 years old, played a couple of games this season in the Polish second division. I think he's got a record of, off the top of my head, 5 goals and an assist in 19 games, and number 10, and another option for the under-19s. Again, I can't comment loads on that. He's played for Ruk Chorzo. Again, he might be pronouncing that slightly wrongly. He's in the Polish second division. He's a player that I know, as Conor said, Brighton have been after, a host of European clubs have been after, and we've looked like we've beaten them to the signing, which is quite interesting. It could be a potentially good signing, but I can't really comment on the player too much. It was another signing for the under-19s. We've produced some really good players from that under-20s and under-19s. And that look, Abu Halm we signed in the last January, looks like could be a big second half of the season, especially with Gaetano Berardi coming off injured on last night. He's our third centre-back now in effect at the minute, especially as we don't look like signing the centre-back at the moment, as has been said in the comments. This could be an interesting one. Let's wait and see how that one develops. But let's have another look at comments. Seeing another big load of comments come through there. Renos, what's happened to the Zuba rumours? The Steven Zuba has gone to Hoffenheim. From Hoffenheim to Stuttgart on loan. Unfortunately, that's not happened. That hasn't happened. That one. He's gone on loan half a season to Stuttgart, and I'm gutted about that one because I think that would have been more suitable. You say about backing Bielsa, but for me, that shows to me that Dan James isn't necessarily Bielsa's first choice. If he's going for someone like Steven Zuba first, he looked like he really did want Steven Zuba. That's what I'm sort of saying. Maybe he did want that bit more experience. Maybe it's not necessarily a case of Dan James is his first choice. That is something else to bear in mind too. Some comments. Tom Johansson. Any wingers from the Premier League being considered? And that's going to be a big part of the final bit of discussion here tonight. I'm going to discuss that quite a bit. Lloyd Gittins. Dan James is great, very fast and athletic, able to come off the wing and run centre field. Could be another Gareth Bale. Interesting point. I've not seen a bad comment made about Dan James in terms of ability. So it's an interesting one. Let's have a look at comments. Door on Tour. Make sure you check out Door on Tour. Nottingham Forest vlogger. Quite a regular commenter on our videos. Supports our videos quite a lot. Appreciate that a lot, mate. Make sure you check him out. Doran Tour says, Dan James is a good player, but if you want to get promoted, you need players on form like Mopé and Bowen. Now, Bowen is the one. A lot of people have said about Bowen, but it doesn't look like happening. Tottenham are after Jarrod Bowen. I think they had a 12 million bid turned down. They want a lot for Jarrod Bowen, but wow, that'd be some signing. That'd be some statement signing. That'd be a little bit like the Anthony Knockout signing for Brighton a couple of seasons ago, which pushed Brighton onto that next level. And I think that's what we need more of. I think that's more what we need, that proven kind of quality right now. He's going to come into the team, knows what he's doing, playing at the top end of his game, experience that's just going to slot into that team as sort of a marquee signing to an extent. And let's wait and see. Again, a comment there of Wayne Mace, Bowen overpriced. Can we really afford to spend 12 million? I don't know. I don't not saying if he is worth that or not, but I just can't see us making that sort of high end of signing. I think we'd have to get promoted or really reinvest in the summer. That's my opinion so far. I don't think that really is the type of signing we're going for at the minute. I think we're going for more up and coming. But it's worked for us, to be fair, this season. Callum McDougall, one's just come in there, which is quite interesting. Do you think if Southampton get relegated, do you think we could get Ings? Now, Danny Ings is someone we've been linked with before. I think last season as well when he was at Liverpool, we were linked with him on loan and that lot. For me, it's tough because I'm not sure in terms of his wage situation there. I do rate Danny Ings, to be honest, but I don't think the striker is necessarily what we need at the minute. Maybe it depends what league we're in next season. To be honest, I think Tyler Robertson's only going to get better. Kemaru's playing in the form of his life. Patrick Bamford is a top player for me. I don't think a striker is necessarily what we need right now. I don't think that's what we need to be looking at. But let's wait and see. Right. Oscar Peel, Oscar picked out last week. He's one of my favourite commenters straight away. Just seeing someone else called Oscar is a massive boost. Would you want Marcel to play two strikers, Bamford and Roofe, or would you just keep one up front? I don't think it's going to... I would consider that. I'd definitely consider 3-5-2 of Roofe and Bamford, because I think they both suit each other's style. Roofe's got that extra bit of pace. Bamford is good at holding up, playing that lot. Guys, I've just noticed as well, I'm sat in a conservatory as well, and it is slightly drizzling as well. If I'm not sure what the noise situation is like, any sort of massive issues, please let me know in the comments down below. But sorry. But to get back onto the topic, Oscar's question there, Roofe and Bamford up front, I think could work. Certainly late on in the game, Henry LUFC barely can hear it. I will take that, Henry. I'll take that all day long. I'm glad you can't hear that noise. Good stuff. I just thought I'd check that anyway. Cheers for that, guys. So it could work. Late on in the game, bringing on Bamford and Roofe together, I think could work really well. I think Roofe's got that extra bit of pace. Bamford can link up, but I don't think it's something that Bielsa's going to do. He mentioned early on in the season that if he is going to bring Bamford or Roofe on for each other, it's going to be one coming off. So I think that's quite telling. I think his belief is, he sticks with his philosophy, and his philosophy isn't two strikers. I don't think it really works as well in the Bielsa system. So I personally won't mind it too much, but Bielsa's the main man. Marcelo's the main man. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's more likely Roofe will go out wide than the two up front as such. And there's a lot of love for Rappo Helm, starting against Rotherham, and I think we do need that physicality. I think we are certainly going to see a lot more of Rappo Helm later on in the season. I think that's almost certain. He has been promoted effectively to our third choice centre back from probably being our fifth choice centre back at the start of the season, and he's done well when he's played. He's done very, very well when he's played. Any other comments? For some reason, YouTube has been blocking a lot of comments here. Just as I'm going along, I'm just letting them show that lot, show or hide. There we go. Right, I've sorted a bit of that out anyway from the top row. A couple of comments as well off Douglas or Alioski on the left hand side. A couple of people commented that. For me, it's an interesting one. Gianni Alioski's been playing really, really well recently. This is certainly at left back. I thought he had another good game on Saturday. Got himself a really good goal. A similar goal to the one against Birmingham. He's got loads of end products. He's making things happen. Certainly more than maybe Douglas was, before we got the injury in that lot. But for me, Barry Douglas is an absolutely class player. I think Barry Douglas is still the best fullback in the league. Controversial maybe, but for me, I think in terms of everything he offers, and I think there's been a lot of comments about his lack of assists and goals, but he's not playing as high up as he was at Wolves. That's definitely clear. At Wolves, he's playing more as a left wing back, a left winger. He's getting, I think, 5 goals, 14 assists in 40 games. That's absolutely extraordinary stuff. And he hasn't really had as many set pieces as he did last season at Wolves. Certainly not in as dangerous positions as they were last season. That's for me. I'd still go Douglas. For me, I'd still probably go Douglas, but it's one that can change. There's not much in it. There's definitely not much in it. I'd probably have both of them in the team at the minute. I certainly have Alioski playing higher up, because he's getting himself goals and assists. He gets a lot of criticism, Alioski. I did a All These Two Investigates a couple of weeks ago. In fact, no, it's probably a couple of months ago now, of why Marcelo Bielsa loves Alioski so much. He, no matter what, still brings a lot to this team for me. He still brings a lot to this team. And I don't think it quite gets enough credit for that. He does get assists, he does get goals. he does make things happen. Ever since he's been here, and I think he's been decent value for what we signed him for. He has made things happen, and he has improved us most of the time. But don't get me wrong, he is someone. He's not perfect. He's definitely not perfect, and maybe he's not necessarily a guaranteed starter. But and Barkers has just said, what about Douglas as a winger and Alioski as a fullback? Worth a go. Maybe it is later on in the season. Or maybe it is in a couple of weeks. Let's see what the situation is. It could be an interesting one. That definitely. It's definitely something to consider. Henry LUFC, how much did we buy Alioski for again? I believe it was about 2.5 to 3 million. I'm not absolutely 110% sure on what the fee was there, but it was quite a lot. But yes, I think it's proven decent value for money. Okay, any other comments? So the next thing I'm going to come on to is seen a couple of Saeed's comments. AGR66, anyone thought the loss of Saeed has not helped recent results and we need to find a similar replacement? Now it is on the number 10 situation. Now, last week it looks very, very likely we're going to sign number 10. And now it's gone a little bit silent. There's not really been a mention of a specific name in that lot. There's a possibility in the comments down below saying that Brown is back for the Rotherham game. Maybe that has limited the need for it. But for me, it depends what Marcelo is trying to do. I think he is trying to go into that more 4-2-3-1, 3-3-1-3. That system he used, that trusted system he had at Marseille, Chile, Bilbao, Argentina. Trying to think of his other jobs. Lille last season, that trusted system, that Bielsa system, that aggressive, relentless attacking football, having that Enganche in the team. Because to be honest with you, we haven't really had an Enganche for most of the season. Pablo Hernandez has probably been the closest to it, but even then he's not been playing sort of central for much of the season. I think we are going to see more of a 4-2-3-1 potentially. I think 4-1-4-1 is something he's starting to lose a bit of faith in. I think he has openly said that he sees certain players as being number 10s in that lot. I just feel that's coming. I don't think there's necessarily much evidence on that, but I just feel that maybe he wants that more relentless attacking football. Because at times we have been brilliant in the 4-1-4-1, but I think we've not quite played with that same intensity that we have to start the season for much of the last couple of weeks. It'd be interesting to see. Make sure maybe some suggestions in number 10s and that lot. But for me, I'd be happy with Pablo as the main number 10. Brown as an option off the bench, but as long as Brown's back available soon. So for me, that's not a massive priority. I think we can play perfectly fine with a number 10. Barker's hashtag Oscar for the cam roll. I'm more of a CDM, mate, to be honest with you. I'm more of a CDM. I'm more of a Calvin Phillips trying to spray the ball along in that lot. Trying to play spray the ball onto the right wing, left wing. And try and play some defensive discipline. I'm no way I'm a number 10 for a million years, to be honest with you. I've just not got that creativity aspect, or probably the pace to play as a CAM. I'm more of a just running around like an absolute madman for 90 minutes, to be honest with you, than that. I'm either a CDM or a right wing back. That's the only real two positions I think. I'm pretty shit, to be honest with you. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty shit. I'm not going to lie. But I think that's probably the only two positions where I could possibly give a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance. Anyway, let's carry on. But I think the last thing I want to go on to is a talk of... yes, I'm just going to mention as well, Jasper Baines mentioned so sad about Salah at Cardiff, the new signing there. Obviously we've heard about the incident earlier on today. That's terrible news. That's really especially the fact he went back to France to say goodbye to his teammates. It's just incredibly sad. That hopefully there's been nothing confirmed on that as far as I'm aware. So I don't want to say anything too soon. But thoughts with Cardiff, thoughts with Salah, and thoughts with Nantes as well in France as well. That is a terrible, terrible tragedy. That seriously, what was really, really difficult to it's similar to the Leicester situation as well earlier on in the season with the helicopter crash. That as football, it really does put things in perspective. Things like that happening. But I did feel it was right to certainly make sure I mention that in this video anyway. Hope obviously thoughts go out to Cardiff and Salah as well, and Salah's family too. Let's see. Henry LUFC, maybe my long comment, please. I'm going to try and find it, Henry. Okay, I think it's this one. I think Douglas will be great at wing, on the wing. Brilliant crosser. Maybe a 4-1-4-1. The two full-back, maybe good at wing back. That's why Douglas played at Wolves. That's the position that got him 14 assists. That's hope that might happen. I think Douglas going further forward is only going to be a good thing. Is it going to happen? I'm not sure. I think he's seen as more of a fullback and that lot. He still make things happen at fullback for me. I think to get the absolute best creatively from Barry Douglas, I think he has to play further up. And maybe if we do change to 3-3-1-3, because he's not really had the chance to play left wing back, he's going to be more productive. And I think that definitely would happen. I think he's been a bit unlucky as well. He's had a lot of second assists for me. I think certainly that Blackburn game earlier on in the season against Stoke and Derby, he got a lot of the second assists and he made things happen. It's an interesting one. It's a really, really interesting one. So, any other comments? Can't see anything for now. Yeah. What about Liam Meads? I was going to say Liam Mendes then. Nick Powell from Wigan could be a decent shout. Not sure if he is still in a top player. I know a couple of people have worked with Nick Powell as well, and that over the last couple of years, and that lot. And I've only got good things to say about him. He's a professional and that lot. He's a good player, got a massive talent in that lot, and he's done well for Wigan this season too. He's made things happen. Any other comments? Andy King on loan from Leicester. Nigel Onroji Smith as Andy King on loan from Leicester. That could be an interesting one as well. Maybe we do need that extra centre mid. We've not had if an injury happens to Adam Forshaw, Matthäus Klich, Calvin Phillips, we probably look a bit short in that position. In terms of out and out centre mids. Ollie Ken, Bamford ahead of Roofe. For me, it depends on the game. I think that's a big debate that. And then Henry LUFC says he prefers Roofe to Bamford. It's a hard one to answer that. I think in certain games I prefer Bamford, in certain games I prefer Roofe. I think on Saturday I'd have preferred the Bamford. Up against the three centre backs of Williams, Martins Indy, and Shawcross, I would have preferred the Bamford. Someone who's just gonna move him around a little bit more. I think Bamford is technically the better player. I think Roofe's better at running in behind than that lot. When it's quite an open game in that lot, and the defences are pushed quite high up, I think Roofe's the better player. But for me, Bamford, when it's quite a tight game, when you need that little bit of skill, because Bamford can score from anywhere. Bamford can score from absolutely anywhere. He does not need service to score goals. He got 11 goals in I think he got a goal pretty much every 100 minutes or something from Middlesbrough second half of last season when he was playing. He's playing in not a very creative team. It certainly shows. No one's got close to sort of Bamford's sort of goal scoring at Borough this season. I think it shows. Bamford can score from anywhere. Gary Keith, Roofe equals Bamford. I think that's got to be. I think I'd have to agree with that. I think they're pretty much similar, a similar kind of level. Roofe's probably in the better form in a minute, but Bamford's got that better pedigree. For me, certain games, I'd like to see that bit of rotation between them. I think we will see a bit of rotation between the two of them. Any other comments? Let's have a look. Stephen Hoy has got me started on another last bit I want to mention tonight. Oscar, would you take Bolasie on loan? Now, this is one very interesting one. I suggested this in the group chat between me, Joe, and Conor. I put forward Bolasie. He's cancelled his loan at Villa, lack of games. I know a lot of Everton fans who are quite positive about Yannick Bolasie, and for me, that'd be one I'd look at. Definitely look at it. There is a question: would he suit Bielsa's style of play off the ball? But I'd be happy to just put him in that team, just to be creative in that look, because you know exactly what you're going to get out of Yannick Bolasie at this level. Now he does have a poor attitude in that lot, but I think he's one of those types of player that if he plays week in, week out, like he did at Palace, I think he's perfectly fine to manage. I think he's easy to manage in that lot. I don't think you can guarantee him starts every week, but for me, I think he start most games in this Leeds team. I think he will start a lot of games, and I just think you know what you're going to get with Yannick Bolasie. You know, he's brilliant at Villa, really. You know, a good record at Villa in terms of the lack of games he played. He did make things happen when he was at Villa. He looked really good against us against Villa. That lovely piece of skill on Luke Ayling, and he just moves him around in that lot. That will be an interesting one for me. There is a fair point as well. He's not playing many games at Villa, which Matthew Mansiuk makes as well. You know, it's that's a fair point, but I think Villa out wide, they've got a lot more wing options themselves. I'm not saying Villa are better than us for any world. You know, they're not at the minute. They are better than us. They're not. But out wide, they probably have got the better options. You know, you've got Albert Doma, Jonathan Kodria, who's I know he's a striker, but has been playing out wide. Anwar El Ghazi is a top player as well. Jack Grealish can play out there as well. So there's a lot of competition there at Villa. So I wouldn't necessarily walk too much into. You know, sorry, did I say won't look too much into that. I've seen here a couple of comments saying Hadi Sacco is coming back on loan. I'm not sure if that's. I've not heard anything about that. And all the last sort of Hadi Sacco was he was at Las Palmas and he wasn't getting in the team, which was very worrying because Las Palmas were in La Liga B. You know, not in the first division of Spain. He wasn't getting many games. Like he started 5 games or something, or even played 5 games. I think he starts them, but that'd be an interesting one. I don't know if any other comments there. If Hadi Sacco's coming back, I'm not really sure what to think about that, to be honest. I certainly don't think that would sort of be what we need right now. Barker says Phil Hayes said he's getting recalled now. I'm not sure if this has happened since it's gone online. I can't see if he's not getting many games at Las Palmas that he is being looked at. You know, to be honest, I think. But yeah, for me, Yannick Bolasie, anyway, not to go too far off topic, I think it is more likely, as Ollie Kent says, Sacco will go out on loan again. I'd agree with that. I think it probably is more likely that is what's going to happen with that situation. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, for me, I'd look at Yannick Bolasie. Definitely look at Yannick Bolasie. You know exactly what you're going to get. You know, obviously Dan James. I think we'd all say Dan James is going to be the bigger prospect. But as of right now, what we need is someone who coming into this team, got that pedigree at this level. I just think Yannick Bolasie could be that person. Had one off Henry LUFC saying, Oscar, Kiko or Green or Butland, order them. Interesting. It had to be Kiko top for me. I'm not sure if it's purely based on Leeds performances or not, or if it's based on sort of the career in that lot, but I'll go off Leeds performances. Again, I don't really know how to say Kiko now if it's based on Leeds performances. I'd have to go Kiko top. Look, he's played for Real Madrid in that lot. Second, I have to go Rob Green. I think Rob Green was exceptional that second half of the season for us about 2 years ago. Maybe a bit of a slow start, but yeah, I'd go Rob. Oh my God, Henry LAC, Oscar right now, who's the best of the 3. Still go Casilla top. Butland second. Butland was exceptional yet on Saturday against us. Most big saves in that first game of the season as well. Rob Green's hardly playing football now. I'd have to go Rob Green, probably third now. But I was a massive Rob Green fan in that lot. Any other comments? Let's have a look. Barker's agreed to disagree, Oscar. His attitude would anger the squad. Now, that's a fair point. You know, I don't think that's something Bielsa's going to look at. You know, I don't. You know, when I say not look at, I think that's going to make it Bolasie be someone Bielsa doesn't look at. That's just my personal opinion. You know, who knows? You know, that's just how I'd read it. You know, it's Marcus May, evening Oscar, evening Marcus May. Always so got another couple of viewers there. I've got on to 95 now. Comment there as well. Let's see other comments. Quite a lot of comments flying in now. Mackenzie Horn, almost 5k Oscar. Let's go. I mean, that is absolutely amazing, guys. You know, make sure you check out as well our 5k subscriber giveaway. Plenty of prizes available. Make sure you get yourself entered before the deadline. If you go to our homepage, you can enter that. But make sure you enter. Don't enter now. You know, don't go off this video. Don't go off this video. Just enter after we finish the stream. Dylan Howarth, evening Oscar, another person who's joined us there. But yeah, again, 5k, absolutely amazing support, guys. You know, we can't thank you enough. You know, you absolutely mean the world to us, to be honest with you. You know, when we wake up and see your comments, you know, see you join in with these live streams, it's absolutely amazing. Jackie Babson getting that all ECB lines signs photo. It's mine. Um, you, you're more than welcome, mate. If you win the prize anyway. But for that comment as well, what was it Phil McCracken? I mean, oh my word! I mean, that's probably the most I think I've laughed on the channel. To be honest with you, I mean, oh my word! I'm just so glad I wasn't live that day because I'd have fallen for that. Absolutely no question about it. Definitely. We're still on that comment that competition. If anyone can beat that comment of Phil McCracken, but Jackie Babs, it looks like he is going to be the champion of that comment for this for eternity. Stephen Hoy, KP has to be in midfield at the weekend. He's wasted at centre back, even though he does a decent job. I'd agree with absolutely every single word of that. He's probably arguably one of the best holding mids in this league at the minute. I'd have to agree with that. I think it's crucial he goes back into that holding midfield role, playing those one-touch, two-touch passes, breaking up play. Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, but I definitely have KP back at holding midfield. We'll wait and see what happens on that because there's no certainty on what's going to happen there. Any other comments? Marcus May. I've already sussed that one. Right, I'm going to say the first one. Mike Hunt. That's another new signing. If you haven't, you must have got that one, guys. I did pick that one out. And then Holly Ken as well. It's we're getting that one going as well. Jackie Babs is panicking now that we're starting another competition of who can give the funniest comments as well. Douglas for 3 million gave Conor a boner as well. That was a pretty good one as well. That was a classic sort of like I think that's the title of the video. If it was after Wigan when he came back into the team. I'm just not going to read out some of these. I've sussed out most of them. Phil McCavity. Yeah, I think unless there's any other comments there, guys, I think that's pretty much wrap it up anyway. In terms of what else do we need now? Yeah, I think certainly centre back I'd look at that situation if we can get any quality in there. But the priority for me has to be out wide, getting a little bit more creativity into the team, that little bit of something different, that creativity, that guaranteed creativity, a little bit more experience out wide, that out and out winger. I just think we need that, And I target the Premier League. I was saying to Conor the other day, look at the players in this league, in the Premier League, who are not getting many games. Mark Pugh, for starters, from Bournemouth. Christian Atsu not getting many games at Newcastle. Jacob Murphy not getting many games at Newcastle. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang not getting many games at Cardiff. Floyd Ite, Niskas Cabano, Elias Kachunga at Huddersfield. There's a lot of players there who not get many games who we could potentially get on loan for January and for the rest of the season who have all performed at this level. And I'd be looking at that. That's just my personal opinion. It might sound a bit dinosaur-y saying that. Might say, let's not sign Dan James, let's sign another journeyman and that lot. But that's my opinion at the minute. In terms of getting us out of this league in the next 6 months, I'd go for the more experience. Just for the time being. I'm normally massively against that. But in terms of the stage of the season we're at, the position we're in, that's what I'd go for. Unless we can get Jared Bowen. But I'm just going to confirm as well, as much as Demar Face is saying, I do not smoke. I don't smoke. I've never even tried it. I never will try it. That's I've got no problem with smoking in that lot. But for me, I just know if I try one, I'd probably just never be able to stop. I'd never try smoking. That's just my opinion. I don't smoke. I can confirm that. So I didn't have a smoker. It probably did sound like a smoker's cough. My voice was about as rough as I don't know what. I sound like one of the aunties of The Simpsons, to be honest with you. I won't do the accent, but I did sound like one of the aunties of The Simpsons last week. I was so rough last week. I couldn't even get my all these two investigates out. I was in an absolute state, to be honest with you, last week. And it's just ill, to be honest with you. Just ill. Don't often get ill, but it's just, yeah, it's that's that anyway. Tyrone Mings has been linked according to Barker's. Again, a centre back option, a left back option. Yeah, I'd look at that. Yeah, that could be a good one too. I've not seen anything on that, but I'll definitely take your word for that one, mate. But But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Ollie Ken, Lampard, 6-month loan. Now, it's been mentioned before, but he signed Ashley Cole yesterday. He's loaned out Max Lowe, and he's signed Ashley Cole. I mean, I don't get the fuss on that one. You know, Ashley Cole's has been a top, possibly one of the best left backs I've ever seen. But he's 38 now. You know, is he going to be really? Is he going to be at that level he was at before? I'm not sure. You know, he was very pacey, very creative. I don't know about that. You know, I just don't think it's as big a signing as it's been made out to be. You know, it's a big name signing, obviously, but I don't think it's as productive a signing as what is being predicted in that lot. I think there's better left back options out there. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not massively into that signing. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, last comment I'm going to read out. LBCS, reckon Brown will start any this season. That's an interesting one. You know, I was having that debate as well. Will we see Izzy Brown at all this season? Hopefully is all I'm going to say. I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see on that. But so I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. Check out Joe's Monday Night Football, Conor's Friday Night Football preview, Joe's preview as well for Rotherham. I'll be doing a preview too. I've done this in a weird order. And then Conor as well is working on a really special video too, which is hopefully going to be out on Friday. So make sure you watch out for that. He will mention as well about that, I'm sure, in the preview too. And last but not least, and we will be back with all these TV investigators as well. There's a slight change of plan with all these TV investigators, but I'm still going to get that video as promising out as well on the Grayson promotion season, but I've had a slight delay on that. There will be something a little bit different tomorrow. Make sure you watch out for that. It'll be out around tea time-ish, around 5, half 5, possibly 6-ish, but it will be out tomorrow, all these TV investigators. I promise you guys. I've been Oscar Marriott. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you later. And make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already.